From now until January 5th, each candidate running for Senate in Georgia is invited on this program every night. It's an open invitation to all four of the candidates, the two Democrats and the two Republicans. Both Democrats, Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, have accepted that invitation and have appeared on this program, and they surely will again. But the Republican candidates, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, have refused to appear on this program. They aren't very good at answering questions about the way they have traded stocks using information gained in their position as senators. We'd also like to hear about what they have to say about why they are attacking the results of the Georgia election, the election in their own state, which was run by Republicans, a Republican Georgia governor, a Republican Georgia Secretary of State, and Republican appointees within the Secretary of State's office in Georgia. Senator Loeffler and Senator Perdue are supporting the lawsuit brought by Texas Attorney General, who is under investigation by the FBI and probably seeking a pardon from Donald Trump, a lawsuit to completely invalidate the election results in Georgia and other states, including Pennsylvania, where Republican Senator Pat Toomey has said that the attempts to reverse Joe Biden's win in Pennsylvania are indefensible. Republicans did everything they possibly could to suppress the vote in Georgia, which Joe Biden still won because of the determination of Georgia voters to not be suppressed by those techniques. Now, Georgia officials are planning to reduce the number of early voting locations in the most populous counties, including Cobb County, where Joe Biden won by 14 points. Tonight, Jon Ossoff, who is running against Republican Senator David Perdue, said this during a conversation on Instagram with Leslie Jones.
There was a Supreme Court decision in 2013 called Shelby County v. Holder. And in that Supreme Court decision, the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Since that Supreme Court decision, states like Georgia have engaged in more and more ruthless voter suppression. But then heroes like Stacey Abrams set up and said, actually, we're not going to let you take away the sacred franchise that people bled and died for. When people learn someone's trying to take away their rights, they're just galvanized in their determination to exercise it.
Joining us now, Lauren Groh Wargo. She's the CEO of Fair Fight Action. She managed Stacey Abrams' 2018 campaign for governor in Georgia. What is the situation in Georgia tonight?
Well, Lawrence, I think you said it. We have two Republican Senate candidates devoid of any substance. They won't debate the candidates, or if they do, in Kelly Loeffler's situation, they speak like an automaton. That's like a Trump MAGA talking point automaton. So, look, we have had a 60% increase in COVID infections over the past week in Georgia. We're seeing that surge that we're seeing all over the country. And these real issues are affecting Georgia voters. And so they're turning out to vote, Lawrence. We have over 1.1 million Georgia voters have already requested ballots. Democratic numbers are incredibly strong. Meanwhile, we have David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler playing all of these Trump politics and all of these political games, trying to sow all this disinformation in the Georgia elections. And I would call them games, except they're so dangerous. This disinformation that they are trading in, and by supporting all this baloney Trump litigation, they are really just helping bust up all these norms in all of our institutions in the state. And what's wild about it, Lawrence, is we've got these Republican MAGA folks cheering some of the early vote closures that you just referenced. But Lawrence, some of these are in Republican counties, okay? These guys need to look at the numbers. In Forsyth and Hall County, Donald Trump won those counties, guys. And yes, they're targeted at Latinos and Asian Americans, but early vote location closures hurt everybody in the county. And because Donald Trump and his cronies are all anti-vote by mail, over 70% of Georgia Republicans used vote by mail in Forsyth County. Forsyth County is a north suburban, exurban, North Georgia county. Okay, there are a lot of Democrats there, but there are a lot more Republicans. And so they're just trading in all of this disinformation, but it's creating quite a backlash because they're trying to turn their folks out at the same time. So we're letting them go through all of this and, have their sort of interesting war while we're focused on turning out the vote and making sure our folks know where the early vote locations are and how to return their vote by mail ballots while they have this massive feud.
There's obviously a massive amount of money pouring into these campaigns. Republicans are pouring in more money at this stage than Democrats, apparently. But what has that done to Georgia television? Are voters just overwhelmed with campaign ads at this point when they turn on their TVs?
Sure, it's a big national race. It feels like a presidential. The levels of spending are extraordinary, and you can't watch television without watching a ton of political advertising. What I'm really looking at, though, Lawrence, is all the other activity on the ground. Hundreds of thousands of doors have been knocked by Fair Fight's allies in the field, organizations like the New Georgia Project and Black PAC and Asian Americans Advancing Justice. There are a whole coalition of progressive and Democratic groups that are tuning all of that noise out, and they're getting the vote out, and you can see it already in the numbers. And so we've got some important dates coming up in Georgia. If you're a Georgian, make your plan to vote. Go to peachvote.com. Monday is the first day of in-person early vote. The vote by mail process is still ongoing. Folks can still request and return those ballots. And so, yes, the money is extraordinary, but at a certain point, folks start to tune that out. And what people are not going to tune out are those knocks on the door, are the text messages, are the phone calls. There's tons of food giveaways and work to make sure that there's charitable events happening. This is a really tough time for families. While the Republicans are duking it out, just like your previous guest, Congresswoman Porter, talked about, most normal Georgians are trying to figure out how to have a reasonable holiday for their family, trying to figure out how to get the kid the thing that they want on their Christmas list and have unbelievable financial distress. We all know people who have COVID in Georgia and are struggling. Our ICU capacity is going down. This is a scary time. And so John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock are talking about those issues. And all of the allied groups are really meeting voters where they are to talk to them about those issues and connect the dots. Republicans are blocking COVID relief to do giveaways to large corporations, just like Congresswoman Porter said so eloquently. John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock will be like Katie Porter. They will go to Congress and speak truth to power and deliver for Georgians who need that relief so desperately.
Lauren Groh Wargo, thank you very much for your expertise on the situation in Georgia. We're going to need to hear from you a lot between now and January 5th. Thank you very much for joining us again. Thank you.
Thank you.
And when we come back, a Republican lawyer quit his position in the Florida state government after seeing the video that we showed you last night of the state police raid on the home of Health Department whistleblower Rebecca Jones. The Republican lawyer who resigned his position after seeing that video will join us next.